Hi everyone, this is using tools, okay? All the tools down here. There are some that we haven't covered in the Essentials course. I'm gonna go through the useful ones and you might be using some of them. I'm gonna try and build on that to show you some kind of more slightly advanced uses. We're gonna look at the Ripple Edit tool, the Rolling Edit tool, Rate Stretch, Select Forward, and the Slip and Slide tool. Who doesn't like a slip and slide? Dad joke. Let's start with the Ripple Edit tool. It is hiding in here somewhere. Ripple Edit tool. B is the shortcut. Anything in brackets is the shortcut for it. What you'll find though in, when you get used to it is that you'll be on the selection tool and you'll just hold down the command key on a Mac or the control key on a PC, and watch this. When you hold that key down, you can actually get a bunch of your tools like the, what's that one? The Ripple Edit tool. Okay. And can you see the yellow square, the yellow arrow is the Ripple Edit tool. Okay. So I'm just holding it down, hovering above this. So it means that I can make adjustments and it will flow along. So let's drag it this way and it all comes along for the ride. Same with this way. If I want to edit it this way, I just got to make sure I get to the right side of the cut. So I can get my little yellow arrow, and that's the Ripple Edit tool, or the B tool, or hover above and see if you can figure it out in here. It's way too long. We're all about shortcuts, the command key on a Mac, control key on a PC. Now this one here has some problems. You probably run into it before. Let me switch programs. Let's jump back to this one. So I've got a music track and some dialogue going on. Have you ever done this where you've switched to the, let's go the full way, let's hit B, and we try and drag it and it just doesn't go. Okay, so what you might not have noticed is, can I point to it? There you go. If I drag it this one, can you read around here? Okay, it says trim blocked on video 1. It's because video 1 is holding it back. It doesn't know what to do. Like, do I drag this along? It's blocking it. So that happens quite a bit. At least it tells you. Okay, so one of two things, I can select both of them. Okay, then switch to my B tool. Okay, and I'll hold shift and click both of them. Then that'll work. And that works mostly, but have you ever done it where you've got, like, say, a cut down here? Okay, so I'm using my razor tool and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to switch B tool for my Ripple Edit, and it goes, and it actually works maybe this way. Oh, can you see it won't go this way because it's like, hey, the trim's blocked on audio too. Okay, so I don't want to select it because I don't actually want to edit it. I just want to unsync it. Remember we did sync lock earlier on? To say, just don't be connected to all of this stuff. You see it'll work fine. So often leave the music track unsynced for lots of different reasons, especially if you're using the Ripple Edit tool. Let's do rolling edit because we kind of saw a good example for that in here. Okay, rolling edit tool, we can go the long way. Where are you, rolling edit tool? Okay, rolling edit tool, I kind of don't use this like day to day. It's kind of one of those useful ones every now and again. So the rolling edit tool is this little kind of weird icon here. Okay, and it just means I've got two things stuck next to each other. If I drag this, it's going to not only, extend that one, but it's also going to trim that one up in one foul swoop. I find it's useful mostly when I'm on my selection tool, again, holding down the command key on a Mac, control key on a PC. Okay, remember the yellow ones was my Ripple Edit, and the rolling edit here. It's really great with images where you're just kind of playing with the timing and trying to get the transition like between these two.
The wind always be at your back.
Okay, weird transition anyway, but just trying to get the timing right. Okay, we need to come back a bit further. It won't go back to the left unless there's a bit of pre-roll in there. So watch this. If I do the same key, drag it back this way, okay, rolling edit, drag it back this way, it won't go. Can you see it actually tells you down the bottom there? Remember, look over here. It says trim media limit reached on audio 1. There's just nothing in there. So you can go to the right because there's extra footage left in here, okay, to trim up. So if you're at the extent already, that rolling edit won't work. Same with this one. If there is kind of a trim in there, okay, and you've done, often that's what it is. I've cut these down quite a lot for our course. So often that is available, that kind of pre-roll. So it'll let it go both ways. All right, so that is the rolling edit tool. The next one is the rate stretch tool. Really handy. Don't tell anybody you've used it. It's like, say I need to get out to the end of this, okay, and there's just nothing more in there. Okay, it gets to there and you're like, oh, just a little bit further, or maybe even a lot further. Okay, you just need a bit more extra, okay, and you need to drag out the rate stretch tool. I use this all the time for graphics as well as video. Okay, the rate stretch tool there, R for your shortcut. Okay, and watch this. I can just drag it out and it makes it longer. It is stretching it, okay, and we'll cover this more in slow-mo, but if you do use the rate stretch tool to either speed it up or slow it down, just make sure, right-click it, go to speed and duration, and just make sure it's set to optical flow. That'll give you the best result in terms of, because it's slowing down this footage. Let me mute it all. We'll look at it in more detail doing slow-mo, but trust me, optical flow looks a whole lot better than the default one there. So rate stretch can be used for lots of different things. You might have brought in, this is just a static graphic, so we don't need rate stretch on it, but maybe you brought something in from After Effects that has a certain kind of animation and it stops. You can drag it out, just make sure it's set to that optical flow. All right, quickly before this ends, can you see down the bottom right here, this little blue thing? I've opened up a really big project to show you a tool, but I don't know, little sideline that if you've opened it up and cleared all your cache, okay, it's saying that it's going to have to rebuild a bunch of temporary files and can take a while. That's what that yellow kind of pending media thing was. And you can notice it down here. Will at least give you an idea of how long it's going to take for it to create all the kind of temporary files. Remember way back at the beginning of this course with things like the MP3s need to be recreated, and same with the video clips. Lots of stuff needs to be generated and read by Premiere Pro. Just keep an eye down the bottom there. Now, the other tool is this one here, Select Track Forward. You can select it backwards too, but forward just means like from here onwards, I want to move it along a little bit because I need a gap. And it's really handy if you've got a really long bit of footage here. Okay, and you just you don't want to try and get it all, and you're like, have I got it all? Have I got all the layers? Okay, you can just use that tool, which is the A key, okay, and just click once and it'll select everything from there onwards. It always grabs the music track and you're like, not the music track. Okay, so you can just lock that layer. Where is it there? Lock it. So I can click all of that onwards without this. And now I can kind of move a bit of space, so then I can, add the clip that I need to add. Where are we? Cool, and you probably shouldn't use that tool. I use it all the time. Because what you should be doing is, I'm going to undo that so the gap joins back up. Undo. Okay, you should just get your playhead where you need it to be. Okay, and then let's say I want to insert this from my source monitor in and out point, which is I and O. And then I should just hit this or hit the comma. Can you see insert? And it should just inject it in where I need it to go. Again, I don't want you to connect. I can either lock it like I did before or just turn sync lock off. Do the same thing. I'm going to use comma and we'll insert it. You can be confident that everything kind of moved along. All right, so that's what that tool is used for, mainly just big jobs. All right, the next two tools, slip and slide. I don't use them very much, but it's in the advanced course because you're going to ask me like, well, why didn't you cover these? What are they for? What do they do? I use the slips tool occasionally, enough that it's worth mentioning here. And the slide tool I don't use, but hey, you might use it in your workflow. So I've got this bit of footage here and it's got some pre-roll. I've already cut it up, okay? So this is kind of the great circumstances to use this, right? It's part of a really big project, okay? And there's a lot of things kind of relying on each other. So I can't, say I want to push, there is this front part, okay? It's just kind of like B-roll of me doing some speed designing stuff, okay? And it gets to the end, but let's say that the beginning here starts too late and I want to shift it along. And the long way would be going like this. Okay, I grab it and I'd say, actually, I want to move it along a little bit. Okay, so that I clip some of the front of it because there's more interesting stuff here at the end. Okay, and then put it back in. That works, okay? It sucks when there's something above it in the layers. Okay, so I'm going to undo all of that. That's where the slip tool comes in. So the slip tool is the Y. Okay, and you can click it and drag it, and it leaves the kind of container alone, but I can drag the footage within it. It's a little tough to use. Okay, so you can kind of drag it along and just kind of see at the beginning here, I can see when this bit, let's say I want to move it so after I get past the eyeball. Okay, get rid of the pink stuff. There we go, back a bit further. So that's what you can do. Okay, you can kind of slip it with inside that already kind of clip container. What you'll notice as well is if I click and hold it and drag it, can you see up the top there, it kind of has that mine's freaking out at the moment, but you can see it there. It's showing me my in and out points. Normally I can drag that and just watch them. Mine's kind of jumping up and down for the moment. Had a few bugs with my Premiere Pro at the moment, but that's what it is. See the top left and the top right, that is showing me, see the small ones in the top left, top right? That's showing me this clip and that clip. So I can kind of line them all up. Again, I just kind of use it often when I'm getting to a bit and I need to just shuffle it along a bit. Okay, often B-roll, stuff that doesn't require huge amounts of timing, and it's more like, oh, let's just scrub this along. Okay, the slip, we've done the slip, let's do the slide. The slide, I'll show you, is, let's find something we can slide along, this footage. Okay, I'm gonna slide that along, and watch what happens to the two edits. Can you see they come along? That extends out and that pushes in. And like, I just never at a point where I'm like, I know exactly when I want to trim that up. You know, what I need to do, if I need to do that, I need to probably move him out. I need to see like, how much of this do I need in there? What am I cutting off here? There's so much like me needing to know stuff that the slide tool doesn't work great. Maybe great for just like static images, okay? Because it doesn't matter what you clip off. But yeah, you might love those tools, so they're in here. Slip and slide. If you didn't get my dad joke, Google slip and slide kids. I don't know what you call it where you are from, but it's almost summer here and we're about to dig that death trap out again for the kids. So much fun. All right, the last little one is the razor tool. You've used it loads, okay? Shortcut is C. We covered this earlier on, but if you hold down Shift and click at stuff, it goes all the way through all of the layers, which can be handy. And remember, instead of using the razor tool, have that selected, hold Shift K, not Shift K, Command K, and it will do the cut for you. Okay, so I very rarely go to the razor tool. I just get to where I need in my playhead and use Command K on a Mac, Control K on a PC just to do my cuts. And if you do all of those shortcuts and hold Shift, so Command Shift K on a PC, no, on a Mac. Let me start again. Command Shift K on a Mac or Control Shift K on a PC, it'll go all the way through. I don't really use that one. I use mostly just Command K or Control K on a PC. All right, that's it. Those are the tools. Some you might not have used yet. Some that you may have used and had some problems with, like the Ripple Edit tool. Hopefully we solved some problems there. And the slip and slide tool that you may never ever use in the rest of your career. Great course, Dan. All right, let's get into the next video.